Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Joe.
And together we're the Maladjusted Misfits.
And this is the one where we talk about friends.
Joe, I could write an epic poem about your lips.
Aw, how would that go?
Okay. Your lips, your soft, sweet lips are part of the inside of your mouth that is filled to the outside of your face.
And you can stop.
Oh, okay, thanks. Welcome, Misfits, and hello to any new Friends fans that stumbled across our podcast.
Every week we rewatch the next episode in sequential order because that makes the most sense.
And then we break it down.
And look stuff up.
And do other things.
And you're not supposed to say that.
And we have fun and giggle and stuff too.
Yeah, that we do. So how are you?
Okay, how are you?
I'm okay.
What you been doing?
Working.
Working for a living.
Yep. I'm not going to sing that song, though.
No, we'll probably get in trouble for the part I did.
How are you?
I'm good. I hung my sign up.
Oh, fun. Yeah, we painted this wall a chalkboard paint so that we could write on it. And then we realized it didn't work. So now we can't erase anything.
Yeah, I think the chalk pens were the problem.
Oh.
I think if we would have just stuck to chalk, we would have been fine.
All right.
You tried to upscale too much.
I tried to make it fancy and readable.
Readable? Legible?
Legible. That's it. All right, what are we doing this week?
All right, we're doing the one with all of the jealousy.
All the jealousy.
It is all in this one. If only that were true.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't stop with this one. What's our IMDb plot?
Ross becomes insanely jealous of Mark. Monica hooks up with a coworker who writes her a poem with a hidden meaning. And one of Joey's numerous lies on his resume is exposed when he takes part in a Broadway production.
Lies on your resume.
Lies on your resume.
Our episode director is Robbie Benson.
Who has probably lied on his resume more than once.
He doesn't have to anymore. But he's back. Remember, he directed one episode in season 1.
Okay, yeah.
The one with the ick factor. And then he directs 5 in season 3.
Oh my goodness.
This is just the first of 5 for us. He's most well known for his dazzling blue eyes.
Okay.
And being the voice for the animated Beauty and the Beast. But he also directed 25 episodes of the Ellen TV show.
Oh.
Not the, talk show. The actual Ellen show, remember?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And our writer this week is returning Dottie Abrams.
Oh, Dottie.
Yeah, remember she wrote 1 episode per season for all 10 seasons except season 4.
Oh, she was like, no, I'm busy.
Yeah, I don't like season 4. I don't know what happens, but she also wrote an episode for a show created by David Crane called The Class. It ran from 2006 to 2007. A 27-year-old is reunited with his childhood friends, and it stars Andrea Anders. She played Michelle in Ted Lasso's wife.
Oh, yeah.
Liz Kaplan. And Jason Ritter and John Bernthal. Remember him?
Yeah.
From The Accountant. He's his brother.
The Punisher, and he was in Sicario and Walking Dead and stuff.
Oh, yeah. And then Jesse Tyler Ferguson and so on. So there's a lot of people in this TV show that she directed an episode
Lizzie
for.
Kaplan?
Yeah, Liz Kaplan. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah, she's good. Jason Ritter, too. So when was our original air date?
Our original air date was January 16th, 1997.
Okay.
I'm going to read off the top 4 movies from that week, and you tell me what you know about them, okay?
Okay.
Number 4, The Relic.
I don't know anything about that one.
That was a horror movie.
Did I see it?
With Tom Sizemore and Penelope Ann Miller.
Really?
Yeah, it was not that great.
Okay.
Number 3, Evita.
That's the movie about Eva Peron.
Yeah.
Starring Madonna.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
You don't know anybody else in there?
No, who else is in it?
Jonathan Pryce.
Oh, okay. Nope, didn't know that.
Number 2, Metro. Any idea about Metro?
Nope.
Very generic title.
Yeah.
Guess who stars in that?
Lou Diamond Phillips.
No. Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy. really? Oh,
And
okay.
what's his name? Coming up in a few seasons. I can't think of his name right now. Man alive. Why did I bring it up?
I don't know.
I don't know.
What character does he play?
Dick Ritchie.
Oh, yeah, I can't think of his name.
Sorry, Michael.
Rappaport.
Yes,
We did it together. We can get there.
And number 1, Beverly Hills Ninja was the number 1 movie of the week.
Oh my gosh, no.
Starring Chris Farley.
Seriously?
And the tagline was Kung Fu.
Kung Fu.
Yes.
Wow, we did not go to the movies that week.
No, we did not. We were seeing weird stuff in Los Angeles.
That's true.
What we were doing.
Yeah. Are you ready for some trivia?
I am ready.
All right. So for his audition for the musical adaptation of Charles Dickens's novel, A Tale of Two Cities, Joey picks and sings a Pick a Pocket or Two from the musical Oliver, which is also based on one of Dickinson's books, Oliver Twist. So,
right.
Yeah. Joey comments to Ross that his friends will say, it's been 4 years since Rachel and Ross were together. Remember that part?
Yeah.
And in around 4 years' time, Ross and Rachel sleep together and conceive their daughter, Emma.
Oh.
And then Carlos Gomez, who plays Julio in this episode, was also in the film Fools Rush In 1997 with Matthew Perry in the same year. And then later was in the series Joey with Matt LeBlanc.
Aw.
Yeah.
And I think he does a really good job with Julio.
Yeah, he does a good job.
You want to smack him when he talks, but he's perfect.
Right. Again, they pick really, really good side characters.
And they give little fun stuff for him to do.
Yeah. All right, what were your episode reactions this week?
The chuckles are in full effect this week. Monica and the poet Julio. Joey's dancing. Ross in full mental health decline. Chandler and Phoebe provide solid backup. It's a good time.
Yeah, it is. Despite Ross's overreaction to Mark, I think the scenes are funny. And there's a cut line later that would have helped the situation, I think, a little bit.
Okay.
But I'll get to that.
All right.
I like when the Joey scenes, it lends to the validity of him pretending to know French later in the series.
Yeah.
The Julio Monica scenes are so good. I love the barbershop quartet that shows up twice.
Yeah.
I like those short, sweet songs. Good episode.
I like that they come back at the end.
Yeah, I do too.
A fun little, you don't expect them to.
Right.
And then they come back.
Are you ready to do some favorites?
Yeah. What was your favorite line?
Favorite line? I'm going to go with Chandler's line. Mm-hmm. He goes, either that or you just turned him on and sent him off to a stripper.
You do laugh at that all the time.
I do. Because he says it so matter-of-factly. Like, she was like, there's a kiss he won't forget. What was yours?
I'm going to back away from the mic to do mine.
Okay.
Mine is a Ross line. My God, can't a guy send a barbershop quartet to his girlfriend's office anymore?
You did a great impression. I love it. Your thing is very spiked over there.
I did move away from the mic, everybody. So.
Favorite moment. I love the Joey audition scene when he... when the director comes back and says, show me what you've done. people. People. That whole section's funny.
Yeah, that whole audition scene's pretty good. For me, there's nothing better than a pretentious poet getting a barbershop quartet right up the ass.
It is a great moment.
I mean, that's gotta hurt as a poet. They're rhyming and everything.
She's over there on the counter waving to him. And then the girl he's flirting with starts laughing.
Yeah.
So, all right. Favorite outfit. I'm going to go with Joey this week.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It's not ironic either. I love a V-neck sweater on a guy with a t-shirt underneath it. I prefer a white one, but Joey looks good. From the waist up. I'm not a fan of khakis, but he's still my favorite this week.
Right. Yeah, you do like the sweater with the t-shirt.
I do.
So I almost picked a couple of the dancers' outfits in the background. But then I was like, no. And then I almost picked Rachel's towel dress.
Oh my God.
But no. So I went with the matchy-matchy Rachel and Nancy in the office, black dresses and white shirts. They both look nice.
They're very cute. It's a cute dress.
So Nancy and Rachel for the win.
Twins. All right, themes we explored this episode. Theme 1.
Okay.
Jealous of your girlfriend's new coworker.
Oh, yeah. And theme 2, dense about poetry.
Or dense poetry. Theme 3, lying on your resume.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I don't lie on my resume.
Well, you don't have to. Some of us have to. And theme 4, strippers!
All right, we're going to take a quick break before we break down the episode. All right, fine. Don't do anything. Just sit here and talk to us. Meanwhile, she's talking to him about you, and he's being Mr. Joe sensitive. And she starts thinking, maybe this is the guy for me, because he understands me.
And before you know it, she's with him. And you'll be all like, oh man. And he'll be like, yes! And us, we'll be like, whoa, dude. And pretty soon, you'll be like, hi. And I can't go. Rachel and Mark might be there. And we'll be like, man, get over it. It's been 4 years. And you'll be like, why didn't I say the right name at my wedding? And I'll be like, let's be napping buddies. And Chandler will be engaged to Monica and dress up like Santa. And we'll all turn 30 and be like, why, God, why?
He paints quite a picture, doesn't he?
All right, we're back.
We're back.
Back for the cold open.
Yep.
All right, so we're at Monica and Rachel's.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel, Ross, and Chandler. Chandler, Muriel Bing, and Rostopher Houston Skeller hanging out at Monica's before work. Rachel's getting ready for her first day of work at Bloomingdale's and busts out of her room wearing a towel and asks if everybody hates these shoes. Which I see this every morning. You always ask me about your shoes.
I do. I ask you to pick the better shoe for the outfit. But I rarely come out wearing a towel.
No,
I have the outfit on
Yeah,
first.
you have the outfit on, and you put on both shoes.
I do.
And you're like, better A, better B, like an eye doctor.
Yeah.
And I always go that one. I never say the letter.
But you point to it. And he could be randomly just picking my shoes, but he does make me feel better.
I don't. I pick the ones I like.
All right.
But Chandler's like, oh yeah, but nobody will I like that he goes, oh yeah, we hate the shoes. But he goes, nobody will focus on them as long as you're wearing that towel dress. And Rachel just stares daggers at him. And she's like, Ross, tell him.
This was almost my favorite line.
Just tell him.
No, the next one.
Oh, the next one.
Yeah.
And that's when Ross says, it's her first day at her new job. You're not supposed to start with her. I like the imitation of the mom voice.
Right.
It's not me saying this. It's Rachel saying, this is how she told me last night. And Chandler agrees that he can wait a day, which is nice. Both nice and funny.
Right.
And then Chandler turns around and asks Ross if he'll attend a, quote, the bachelor party for my weird cousin Albert, the botanist. And Ross shakes his head because botanists are such geeks. Right behind sitcom actors and podcasters.
Hey!
But I like how Chandler agrees with him for real and asks him if that's a dinosaur tie that Ross is sporting.
Yeah.
And Ross is like, oh yeah. And then there's a knock as Phoebe enters, and she is wearing a myriad of purses. Now, I would not guess that Phoebe and Rachel have the same taste in purses, which is confirmed as Phoebe pushes one of the purses that's covered in turtles.
Yeah, that was my first thought, too. You asked Phoebe for purses?
Now, maybe Phoebe I'll bring over a bunch of purses.
Maybe she did.
and she was just like, fine.
Where's Monica? You know? She's got her fake boobs at the diner.
her and Julio down at the schoolyard. But these are the turtle purse. I just wanted to tell her it's fake stuffed animal turtles attached to a purse.
Yes.
unlike your sister-in-law, Joe,
Yeah.
that sported a purse made from an actual turtle, skin and shells.
Yeah.
It was not nice.
No.
And it's probably exactly how everyone out there is imagining it to look.
Yeah. It was really sad. And that's not the only real animal purse she has.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. She has a coyote purse, too.
Oh, coyote ugly purse. But turtles scare Rachel, so she doesn't need that today. And Ross tries comforting her and then asks if he can take her out to lunch on her first day.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know what's going on. Like
No.
you,
Yeah.
as a person who works at a company, often take the new person out for the
Exactly.
first day of work.
Yes.
But Rachel already knows what she's going to do. Mark's taking her out.
Right, because somebody at her company's taking her out on her
Right.
first day.
And yes, that's the same Mark who Ross already hates. They have to clarify. And then Rachel asks Phoebe if one of the purses is really a lunchbox. And she goes, no, it's a purse. But it has a thermos inside.
I like how Rach just smiles and agrees.
Yeah. Oh, cool. I have a Jaws purse right here in my office.
You have several purses in your office, actually.
Hey. So before more interruptions, Chandler wants confirmation from Ross that he's going to the bachelor party. Albert may be getting married just to see the stripper, he explains.
And Phoebe says that strippers at a bachelor party are so cliche. But isn't she the one that insists on having a stripper at her bachelorette party?
Right. Well, people are going to tire of me saying this, but Phoebe never has a conviction that she does not abandon. Anyway, Phoebe recommends a magician. And Chandler agrees that as long as he can open a beer with his butt cheeks, then okay.
Ooh.
Why does the magician have to be a guy, Chandler? Sexist?
That's right.
I mean, I could actually be on board with a magician stripper who has a fun routine. She could make my disappear.
Adam, cut it out. Oh my gosh. I'm going to take over for a little bit, okay?
All right.
It is the next scene, but that's all right. Chandler and Joey's, Ross, Chandler, and Joey. The guys come in while Joey's on the phone, and I like to think Chandler made one too many jokes, and Rachel kicked him out, and Ross went with him.
That's a good thought to think.
Ross is complaining about Rachel having lunch with Mark on her first day. Again, seriously, in all my first days of work, I think having you come take me to lunch would have been awkward.
Yeah, it's weird. You never know when it is.
Yeah, you got to get a feel for the place before you're just like, hey,
Like-
I'm leaving for an hour or so for lunch.
So, the one place I worked, my first day, I barely got to take a lunch because they were so busy, and I was supposed to get off at 4, and I was there till 8
Oh my God.
because they were really in bad shape because they needed to hire a couple of people.
Yeah.
And I never worked that late ever again.
But he continues with, you should have seen the hug he gave her when she got the job. And he turns to Joey and says, and he's really good looking.
Thumbs up.
Joey gives an enthusiastic thumbs up. I love it.
He's not listening.
Nope.
No. He's on the phone.
Exasperated Ross asks what he's going to do, and Chandler quotes the chorus from the 1978 song, Don't Cry Out Loud by Melissa Manchester.
Aw.
Don't do anything. Keep it inside. Learn how to hide your feelings. Don't cry out loud.
Best advice ever for Ross.
So Joey hangs up the phone and says, guess who has an audition for a Broadway musical?
Ooh.
Chan says, I want to say you, but that seems like such an easy answer. It is Joey, and it's a musical version of A Tale of Two Cities.
Fun.
So he says, for his audition songs are New York, New York, and I Left My Heart in San Francisco. Ross indicates that he doesn't get to pick the two cities. Joey says, what? Mr. Dickens picks the cities. Huh? Chandler indicates that he will get him the Cliff Notes. Remember those?
Yeah.
One, I didn't like it because I like to read.
Yeah.
But two, it always made me just read the book anyway, because you
Right.
got to mention something obscure that only someone who read the book would know.
Right.
That's the secret to my mediocre success.
Oh, yeah? So tell me something about A Tale of Two Cities.
I did not read that
Oh,
one.
okay.
But you can ask me whatever you want about The Color Purple.
Okay.
So for our non-American listeners, Cliff Notes, or it's really Cliff's notes.
Oh, okay.
It's a result of the Mandela effect.
Oh, I fucking hate the Mandela effect. I prefer the bullshit effect. It was the Berenstain Bears, and your mom could not read. Get over it.
So Cliff's Notes are a series of student study guides. The guides present and create literary and other works in a pamphlet form or online. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. So Chandler offers the abridgment. Joey says, oh, okay. Then he turns to Ross and says, what?
Joey is so confused, but I'm just impressed that he knew what Tales of Two Cities was.
Right. Well, he did ask about singing the Two Cities.
Yeah. All right. Well, if I may again.
You can try.
All right. We're at Bloomingdale's. Mark and Rochelle. Mark is showing Rachel how to enter numbers into a giant laptop. I mean, the thing looks like it weighs 30 pounds, which that's 14 kilos to our European and drug-dealing listeners. But it looks heavy. It looks like you could hurt somebody with it.
So thick.
So Mark is looming over him. This is one of those things that Mark does that I'm like, he's a little too close.
Right.
I'd be like, dude, back up. But I hate looming anyway when I'm at the computer. But he asked Rachel if she has any questions, and she asks about her discount. 20%. She loves this job. I like that it's nothing about it.
Right. Do you have any questions? What's her discount?
What's her discount? What time do I get to go home? Oh. But her phone rings. It's her first call. And guess who offers to answer it? Not Sophie. Mark. Mark answers the phone. Rachel Green's line. And it's Ross calling. No way I would bother you that much on your first day.
Yeah,
I would never
really?
call you.
Oh, no. I mean, how do you even know? Oh, it's so awkward.
But it's Ross, as in Ross and Rachel. And Mark is like, oh, hi, Ross, it's Mark. And he's like, oh, hi, Mark. I have to stop doing that. So for anybody out there that doesn't know what I'm doing when I do the, oh, hi, Mark, there's a notoriously bad movie called The Room.
Yes.
Where the main character goes out on a roof to have a dramatic moment, and then he sees his friend Mark. The dialogue goes as follows. I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
It's exactly like that. The delivery is exactly like that. It's amazing. It's the worst movie ever.
I'll try not to say it anymore, but every time Mark comes up, it's hard for me not to say it.
You'll try to try.
I'll try to try. Yeah. I'll try to try. So Ross wants to know why Mark answered the phone, and he's just goofing around. But Ross now gets to find out that Mark and Rachel are Joanna's two assistants. And Ross asks why two assistants? How lazy is she? So I guess in museums, lazy people get assistants?
Apparently.
Is that how it works at your place, Joe?
No.
Yeah. If you're really lazy, you get a couple assistants?
No. You have to beg for assistance.
But then Rachel's like, I gotta get off the phone. I accidentally shipped 3,000 bras to personnel, which would not be possible in any of the shipping software I've ever been on, but it's her first day. So she yells, Mark, I need you. So she says bye to Ross, and then Ross takes it in stride and laughs it off, joking. He slams the phone down several times in a huff, you know, like when telemarketers keep calling you back.
Right. I miss being able to slam the phone. You can't do it anymore. You have to push a button. It's not as effective.
That was always fun.
It was. Slamming the phone down.
And Rachel is still on the phone, so she hears all this.
Ow, Ross!
And he's like, sorry, sweetie, I was dialing another number. So then we cut to Moondance Diner. Monica, Julio, and Janine. Played by Wendy Shaw.
Or Mrs. Rumsfeld in The Burbs.
Yes, I love The Burbs.
I know, me too.
No tan lines today, Mrs. Rumsfeld. Looks nice.
Oh, classic.
But Monica's over on the, by the
counter.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. By the counter, deboobing herself. And Janine changed fast to give Julio and Monica some time alone. And Monica says she's not going for it with Julio, but Janine says she will if Monica doesn't. And again, you said Julio was played by Carlos Gomez.
Yep.
He was a cop in a Criminal Minds episode.
Oh, really?
And he was Bucho's right-hand man in Desperado.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I like Desperado.
Yeah. But he looks at Monica and she looks at him, the way you flirty do. And Monica points out that someone left a book. But it's Julio's. It's Flowers of Evil, or Les Flores de Mal by Baudelaire. He asks Monica if she's read it.
Have I read it? No. Are you enjoying it?
I like how for a second she thinks about, no, but if he says anything.
Right. That's about like lying on your resume.
Yeah.
You going to call me out on it?
Julio thought he would, but the translation is no good. I guess Julio prefers the original French version. Mm-hmm. According to Wikipedia, please somebody donate to Wikipedia. I feel bad ignoring their requests for funding all the time. But the poems in this collection deal with themes relating to decadence and eroticism, particularly focusing on suffering and its relationship to original sin. Disgust toward evil in oneself, obsessions with death, and aspiration toward an ideal world. Not really my bag, but go knock yourself out. Monica responds to Julio with the fantastic, "You're a poet, and you don't even know it." But Julio, being a pretentious D-bag, says he is a poet.
Oh, so you do know it.
And again, I think he's doing some great work here.
Yeah.
Sometimes people get confused. Like, people still send that, I think we mentioned this before, that poor actress that tried to break Jim and Pam apart.
Yeah.
They send her hate mail. Don't send the actress hate mail.
No, she was just doing a good job.
It's like Julio here. He's doing a good job playing a scumbag.
Right.
But Monica asks him what he likes to write about. And he says, the shadow of a tree, a child laughing. He kills me every time with this shit. Julio could, he says, but he isn't going to, write an epic poem about this lip. And Monica's so fallen for it. She looks like they might have to mop again.
Oh, no.
And then she asks, how'd it go? And then they kiss. Come on, Monica.
Right. It's such a cheesy line.
He doesn't even say anything.
No.
All build up, no payoff.
Right. So we cut to Joey auditioning somewhere because we just see the room. We don't see the outside.
Right.
We open up on Joey singing, "You got to pick a pocket or two," picking the pocket of the piano player while he's singing it. He's not a bad singer. Mm-hmm. And he's got one of my favorite outfits on, the V-neck sweater with a t-shirt under it.
Yep.
The director loves him and definitely wants to see him in the callback.
And playing the director is Oba Babadante, also a sheriff on Criminal Minds.
Really?
Yeah. And I double-checked just to make sure, but the guy who plays Mark never played a sheriff on Criminal Minds.
Oh, okay.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been cool. Excellent. He instructs him to make sure he brings his jazz shoes for the dance audition.
Oh.
But Joey skids to a stop and says, "My agent said there was no dancing."
I threw my jazz shoes away.
The director laughs and says, "All the roles dance a little, but with your background, it will be a piece of cake." Smash cut to Joey and Chandler's apartment.
Oh, they love their smash cuts.
Chandler is reading Joey's resume. 3 years of modern dance with Twyla Tharp and 5 years with the American Ballet Theater. So I looked this person up. Mm-hmm. She's legit. She's currently 83 years old.
Yeah.
Twyla Tharp is an American dancer, choreographer, and author who lives and works in New York City. Mm-hmm. In 1965, she formed the company Twyla Tharp Dance, which later merged with the American Ballet Theater in 1988.
Yeah, I know all that. I wrote a paper on her for my modern dance class. Stop giggling.
I remember that class. So Joey informs that everybody lies on their resume and points out he wasn't one of the Zoom kids either. So I looked up this, too.
No, it's funny because when I hear it, I just think of all the children taking class during the pandemic.
Right. Was one of the Zoom kids. So Zoom was a half-hour educational television program created almost entirely by children, which aired on PBS originally from January 9th, 1972 to February 10th, 1978.
Yeah, it sounds like a very 70s idea.
It does, doesn't it?
Let's let a bunch of kids make a show. That'd be cool.
They tried to resurrect it. Didn't do well. But it's a cast of 7 children who dance, sing, build bridges, solve puzzles, and play games and tell jokes. Every idea and activity on the pilot comes from kids who are credited on air for their contributions.
Oh, that sounds cute.
It is cute. Yeah.
Also, I just want to point out, famous actor resume lies include Bob Balaban, who plays Phoebe's father, Frank Sr. He lied, saying he spoke fluent French to get his role in Close Encounters of the Third Kind as a French interpreter.
Oh my gosh,
and
that's amazing.
Did not speak French.
How did he do it then?
He just
memorized the
took
lines.
Classes and learned French before the filming started.
Oh my gosh. I guess if you can just fluently read the lines, you're good. Bob Balaban. So Phoebe asks if he can dance at all, and he does something both Phoebe and Chandler are horrified to watch.
Yes.
To which Chandler says, no. Which is funny, because it's exactly how he dances in future episodes.
Yeah, I want to know if David Crane or which of the 3 main writers
like
dances like this.
So Phoebe is like, what is that? And Joey points out that it looks stupid now because there's no music playing. The phone rings and Chandler says, no, a few more times before he answers the phone. He's ordering the stripper.
Aww.
He giggles. He asks what she does for the extra 100 and then pause. Would I have to buy the grapes?
So this is why we're an explicit podcast. The grapes you see.
No.
You don't want me to explain about the grapes?
No. They can look it up if they want.
Okay. Kegels.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, people. All right. But that's sorry because I have to live with him. Monica says
why do
that.
cite precedent?
Then in walks Monica. Phoebe asks her how her date with Julio was. She says he's amazing, sexy, and smart, which makes him even sexier. He doesn't seem smart. Mon tells him that last night, while they were fooling around, he stopped suddenly to write a poem.
So, can I tell everybody that you spelled fooling around Fulling?
You might as well. You just did. That's okay. One time I was doing a resume when I was younger, like really young, and instead of Candy Striper, I spelled it Candy Stripper.
Oh.
No wonder I got that first job.
But yeah, that cracked me up when I was reading the notes. I was like,
They were
fooling around with that empty face.
They were filling it up. So Joey scoffs and says, I couldn't stop if a meteor hit me. Chandler excitedly announces that they have a stripper, a Miss Crystal Chandelier. To which Joey replies, sure, you name a kid that. What do you expect him to grow up to be?
He's got a point.
Monica goes, anyway, Julio left his poem, and she's pretty dense when it comes to this stuff, but she feels it's pretty good and allows the 3 to read it. Mm-hmm. Joey says, the empty vase, translucent beauty. Chandler says, to yourself, Butterfinger.
Oh.
That's a shout out to the movie Hudson Hawk.
Yay!
Even though it's panned critically across, or critically panned, however you say it, we like it. It's hilarious.
Yes.
Anyhow, they all read, and Chandler and Phoebe think it's pretty good. Mm-hmm. She's excited they like it and tries to take it, but Joey isn't done yet. So she has to go, but he can give it back to her later. Once Monica leaves, Phoebe is so mad. She's like, oh my God, poor Monica.
What?
He always says it in 3s. What? Phoebe points out that he was with her when he wrote this poem. The empty vase is her.
Oh, no.
Look, my vessel so empty with nothing inside. Now that I've touched you, you seem emptier still. He thinks Monica is empty. She's the empty vase. And then there's cut lines.
Okay.
Vase. Chandler says, Monica's not an empty vase. In the cut line, Phoebe says, oh, you think vase?
Oh, vase. Okay.
And he questions if that is really what she thinks is what he meant, Phoebes is like, oh, totally. Oh, God. And she seems so happy, too. Joey announces he is done.
He's done.
And he looks at them. And then there's a
funny.
whole bunch of cut lines, which I love.
Yeah. Okay.
So he goes, what happened to both of them?
Right.
And Chandler goes, Joey, what do you think this poem means? And Joey goes, well, Monica's the vase, right? Chandler goes, you are such a mystery to me.
That's a funny little exchange.
I loved it.
So I just want to make it clear. So Julio stopped while filling Monica's vase to write an obnoxious poem about all women. This dude has some issues.
I'm just going to skip over your simile there. All right. Keep going.
Okay. So, Bloomingdale's office. Rachel and Mark and the love bug, not Herbie. Rachel's desk is a mass of gifts from Ross. Not a basket of mini muffins. This is like $2,000 worth of crap. Easy. And Mark makes a hole in the wall of the junk of love.
The wall of love.
To ask for the Ralph Lauren file, which is where she ends up working later in the series.
That's right.
They all must be under the same corporate umbrella as Warner Brothers. So Rachel looks for the file, but the musical love bug starts playing. Mark points out Ross's insecurities, but Rachel's like, no, he's just romantic. And that's when the barbershop quartet enter. So they're like, I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
Because...
Yeah. No, that's fine.
So they're like, congratulations on your... No, I have to... No, I don't want to do it.
Okay.
Congratulations on your first week at the brand new job. It won't be long before you're the boss. Oomba, oomba, oomba. And you know who will be there to support you? Your one and only boyfriend. It's nice to have a boyfriend. Your loyal, loving boyfriend, Ross. Ross! Oh, well, it's longer than the epic poem about Monica's lips, so that's something. I mean, when he called, is he like, when you end the thing, make sure you say Ross.
Right.
Really loud, like.
Right. Make sure it's emphatic.
All right, so then we cut to Monica's apartment. Mm-hmm. And Ross emerges from Rachel's bedroom, and she's following right after. And he's saying, he's hurt, actually hurt, that she thinks he said any of those things, especially the love bug, out of anything but love. Hurt. If he could start again 1,000,000 miles away.
Oh, no.
He would keep himself. Ross would find a way.
No more 9-inch nails. Get back on track.
Fine. That is when Ross is disgusted that a guy can't send a barbershop quartet to his girlfriend's office anymore.
You can't say that line without that inflection.
No, you can't.
You can't.
Remember we were watching The Northman the other day? And so spoiler alert on The Northman,
Yeah.
the brother kills the dad.
Right.
And then he's avenging him. That's
Right.
all in the trailer. Later, when he was coming back for vengeance, the guy looked like, what do you mean he's back? And I was like, can a guy murder his brother and take his wife anymore? But Rachel says, if you had just been a titch more obvious, you'd have come around and peed around my desk. And I like what Ross responds with, I would never do that. But Mark explained it all to her. That's what you guys do. Hey, Rachel, what do you mean, you guys? Huh? I mean, I personally, at this point, would have said, well, as long as Mark explained it to you, I'm sure you understood. But Ross says Mark is an idiot. And then we get another smash cut.
Smash cut.
Joey saying, Mark is a genius.
That's right.
Chandler goes, look, don't you see what's happening here? Instead of hitting on her right away, he's becoming her confidant. He's going to be the guy she goes to complain about Ross. Everybody needs that guy.
That's right.
That's why we made the podcast, to complain about Ross.
So there's a cut line where Joey goes, oh, like he's in pain.
Mm-hmm.
And Chandler goes, you okay over there? And Joey goes, yeah, I tried taking a dance class today to get ready for the callback tomorrow. Chandler goes, how'd it go? Joey goes, I knocked over a girl. Ross goes, good work. Can we get back to the Mark thing?
Of course he did.
I like that. I knocked over a girl.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But then Chandler, who has never been in a long-term relationship, thinks Ross could send her a love bug. Oh, wait, he already did that. So he insists that Ross go to
Bloomingdale's. I get it.
That's when Joey lays out the worst case scenario. Well, not the worst case. Not even Joey could have protected Ross and Chloe. Instead, Joey's like, Rachel went up with Mark, and Mark will be like, yes, and Keanu will be like, whoa, dude. And Ross will be like, hi. And we'll be like, get over it, that was 4 years ago. And Chandler says, he'll be like...
Paints quite a picture, doesn't he? So we're back at the Bloomingdale office. We open on Mark trying to cop a feel from his girlfriend, who is dressed exactly like Rachel.
Yeah, and Rachel seems like a go and change if I wear the same thing kind of gal.
Yeah, I might have thrown a scarf on or went downstairs and got a different colored shirt. She gets up and goes to get a cup of coffee. Mm-hmm. And Mark continues about how he knows it's inappropriate, but no one's around, and he says, just kiss me.
I like that you can see her behind Ross.
Right.
What Ross is walking. You can
Ross
see her,
is walking down the hallway.
He's listening from the hallway. Right. Rachel walks right behind him.
And then he swoops in and yells, get off her! Mark says, what is going on? And Rachel yells, Ross! Seeing that it's not Rachel he is kissing, he comes up with how he's been down in the store for 20 minutes trying to get a tie. What does he have to do to get some service around here? Oh, hi, Rachel.
And I just want to point out there looks to be a haunted doll in the windowsill behind them.
Really?
I think it may have cursed Rachel and led to the future predicaments.
I'm going to have to pull that up.
Yeah.
All right, cut to the Tale of Two Cities audition.
Okay.
We see Joey stretching.
He can't even stretch correctly.
I love his stretching, though. It's funny. And the director comes up and says, Joey Tribbiani, listen, I got a problem. I just got a call from my dance captain, and he's having a relationship crisis and can't get out of Long Island. Joey excitedly asks if this means the audition is off. But the director says, listen, Joey, seeing you've got the most experience, I want you to take these dancers and show them the combination.
Right.
Oh, no. Joey says, what? He says, oh, come on, Joey. It's easy. You know, it's hand, head, up, pas de bourrée, big turn here, grand sousson, slide back, step, and jazz hands.
Yeah. Okay.
Joey says, yeah, it's a steppity step and jazz hands. He tells him to have fun. Joey stunned says bye while doing the jazz hands. Remember when we were in the musical The Wiz together?
Oh, yeah.
In high school.
Of course, yeah.
And we had that 80-year-old dance teacher / choreographer. What was her name?
Oh, that was a long time ago. Twyla Tharp.
No, that's not it. Anyhow, she always threw in the box step, remember?
Yeah.
When she didn't know what else to do?
Yeah.
You would be up there. She would be choreographing, and you'd be like, how about a box step? And she'd be like, yes, a box step.
Box step and jazz hands.
And let's do a box step 3 count. Oh, my God. There were so many box steps in The Wiz. It was like, are we really doing The Wiz?
There were 1,000 of us between the two high schools on the stage. So.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
So then we're at Monica and Rachel's. Mm-hmm. Phoebe and Monica. Phoebe walks in to find Monica wrapping an empty vase for Julio, like the one in the poem. Well, not exactly like the one in the poem, Phoebe declares.
Oh.
Monica doesn't understand, and Phoebe brings up how she said herself she's dense about poetry. And then Phoebe gives Monica a little love you hug before she's going to deliver the bad news.
Yeah.
And then we cut immediately to the Moondance Diner. Monica storms in. So I'm just an empty vase? And Julio is filling up ketchup bottles at that moment, which I think may be symbolic, but I'm not sure what of.
I think every restaurant scene, including Bob's Burgers, has people filling ketchup bottles.
I know, but it's just while they're talking about an empty vase, he's filling up ketchup. I don't know. There's something there. Monica has a little Geller rant about trick poems and little things that she likes and cares about, and Julio interrupts, and he is so sad. His precious baby thinks it's about her specifically when it's only generally about her. and every other woman in America. She feels better now. Yes. And Monica's like, oh, yeah. I have to say, this is where Carlos nails that performance, because you just want to slap that pompous, smug look off his face every single time.
You feel better now, right?
You feel better now, yeah?
We're back at the audition. The director is standing next to Joey and says, all right, let's do it. The group does the same horrible dance that Joey did earlier in the show, except they're all out of sync and then do some sort of chicken neck thing.
Yeah.
But they do the jazz hands at the end.
Yeah. And I know it's a sitcom and that, timelines are tight, for practicing and everything. But I think it would have been really cool if the horrible dancing would have been perfectly synchronized.
Yeah.
Because they're all professional dancers.
They could have done that.
Yeah. And they all look like professional dancers. If they all would have just done exactly his thing in unison, he'd have been like, what the hell happened? But it's okay. It's funny how it is.
It is funny. Now the director looks stunned and says, no, what was that? Joey, trying to play cool, says, I know, it was the best I could get out of him. The director says, well, people. And Joey follows with, people. He instructs them to, let's try it again. And this time, everybody watch Joey, which he says to Joey, show him how it's done. Count it off. The pianist starts to play, and Joey readies himself, and then runs out of the audition.
And for once, he doesn't fall.
He takes off. It's so funny.
Oh, okay. So then we're at Central Perk, Rachel, Chandler, and the naked girl pin. Rachel hunkers down next to Chandler, asking about the bachelor party, and he's wearing a sweater vest.
Yay, sweater vest.
Whoop, whoop. Chandy says he had fun and shows off his new naked lady pen. He's like, she's fully dressed, and then you click the pen, and she's naked, and you click it again, and she's got clothes on. Rachel doesn't seem that enthused about the pen, or maybe she is, but it's probably just cold in there.
Oh my God.
Then the bucket of cold water that is Ross comes in and says hi. And Rachel gives him a I'm still mad hello. And Chandler leaves the situation to spend some alone time with his pen. Ross sits down and apologizes, saying that he was an idiot.
Big idiot.
Ross confesses that the Mark thing is hard. Mark seems like the male version of Susan, and he's scared someone might steal his new Carol away.
That was such a great analogy.
And Gunther's listening in, and he wishes that it be him to whisk Rachel away. And Rachel thinks if they love each other and they trust each other, then there is no reason why they should be jealous, no matter how many times she hugs Mark before Ross.
Aww.
They smooch, and Ross has to go. And Chandler says his pen is getting boring, and he asks Ross to just pick him up some porn.
Oh my God.
Rachel asks where Ross is off to, and he has a play date for Ben with a woman he met last night at the party.
Where was a woman at the stripper?
Yeah. Now, see, if Ross had planned this to make her jealous, it'd be brilliant. But I think he did it without even a trace of thought of how Rachel may feel, which tracks for both of them.
Yeah.
For instance, I would never schedule a play date with a stripper. I mean, that would not have happened. Chandler says he needs to get a kid. And then he giggles at his pen. And Rachel asks if the stripper is married. And she is not. And then she starts shaking her Sweet and Low packet a little too intensely. Ross asks if she's got jelly belly. She says no, but complains the stripper shouldn't play with Ross. She should play with other strippers. She is not jealous. It's about people having certain feelings about strippers. And he loves her too. Then Rachel gives Ross a very passionate kiss and says, well, there's a kiss that he won't forget for a couple hours, you know. And Chandler says, yeah, either that or you just turned him on and sent him off to a stripper.
And on the DVD, there's some cut lines.
Okay.
Rachel jumps up and runs after Ross. All right, I'm jealous. Ross, I'm jealous.
Oh, there. That would have made it better.
That's the line. Would have made it better.
Right.
Yep.
She realized everything.
Yep.
Okay.
But they cut it out.
Yep.
So Chandler just lays there looking at his pen, impersonating the woman's voice. Oh, no, Chandler, please don't. Oh, no, I beg of you. Oh, Chan, clicks the pen, so she's naked, and he laughs again.
See,
all right, now
my naked lady pens take off their clothes on their own.
at their free will, right?
Their free will.
You're silly. We're at the tag. We're at the Moon Dance Diner.
Mm-hmm.
Monica, Julio, and various diners.
Yes.
We open. Julio is almost kissing that Janine lady.
Yeah.
And then the barbershop quartet comes in and asks for Julio. He says, I'm Julio. And they start singing, Mr. Pretentious. Monica stands up on the stool in the background. You think there's no one finer, but your poems are unpublished and you work in a diner.
Oof.
You're no God's gift to women. That's all in your head. You're just a butt munch.
No one likes a butt munch.
And you're also bad in bed.
Zing.
Monica waves at Julio and Janine laughs. That's the end of the episode.
That's the end. Cut and print.
All right, we're going to take another short break. We'll be right back. So I'm just an empty vase, huh?
What?
You know, I don't read as many important books as you do, and I don't write trick poems that seem to be about one thing, but are actually about something else. And you know what? I get excited about stupid stuff. Like when my People magazine comes on Saturday, and the new Hold Everything catalog. You know, but that doesn't mean that I'm empty. I care about things. I care about my friends and my family. You have no right to make that kind of judgment about me.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
You don't even know me.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. The poem is not about you.
What?
The empty vase is not about you. My baby preciosa. You make me so sad that you would think this.
I'm sorry. My friend Phoebe.
No. It's about all women. Well, all American women. You feel better now?
Oh, yeah. Cookie, now you can punch him.
Huh?
Oh, that was good. All right, we're back.
We're back for the wrap-up.
Yep. What did we learn this episode?
Joe, what did you learn?
I think based on Monica sleeping with Julio over a period of just a few days, that last week's reviewer would be crossing herself right now.
Oh, yeah. She was upset.
And that Ross wouldn't give Sarah $2,000 for space camp, but he would spend $2,000 to make it clear that he's Rachel's boyfriend.
No,
That's what I learned.
That makes sense, though. That's his priorities. I learned that Joey cannot dance.
Yeah.
Maybe it's his little feet.
Oh, yeah, he does have little feet.
Monica is dense about poetry, like most people. Well, most American people.
Oh, no.
And Ross needs a therapist. I learned it again, or more so.
What are your final thoughts?
Since we don't see Julio again, I like to think that he quit and cried himself to sleep after Monica torched him.
That's I wonder if there's still barbershop quartets. You can hire singing telegrams. I think the next time I leave a job, I want to hire one and see how that goes over.
Oh. I'm quitting and fuck you.
You can do it. All right, what's our sweater vest tracker?
Oh my gosh, the prayer count was 4.
Yeah?
We got 1 again. We're up to 5.
That's pretty cool.
It's making my voice do the Squeaky Chandler thing.
What's our rating for this episode?
The rating for this episode on IMDb was 8 out of 10 stars with 5,300 reviews.
All right.
Ratings, not
Reviews,
reviews.
yeah. All right, so the review for this episode
Okay.
was a 9 out of 10 from Mohandalaya, Mohdalaya,
Okay.
June 10th, 2021. The title is Barbershop Quartet!
Ooh, nice.
This episode made me laugh for real, especially the Barbershop Quartet song. And I wish they mentioned the names of these musical band, but they didn't.
Oh.
They wanted to know who the Barbershop Quartet was.
Right.
Ross being jealous was really funny and reminded me of season 1 when he's trying to confess to Rachel. The worst part is Julio scenes, where it could be more funny scene, but the ending scene was great.
Was great. They were the central perks.
That's And I always When I find a 1-star review,
Yeah.
one line, I have to read them.
Oh, yeah. Those
All
are
right.
fun. Okay.
So this one's 1 out of 10
Okay.
by Racy1987,
All right.
February 24th, 2021. The title is Ross Gross, all in cap letters. 1 star because of Ross, period. His jealousy is annoying, period.
Well, I'm
That
afraid
is
you're
all.
going to have to watch something else.
I know, I'm like, are you really a Friend fan? All right. What is next week's episode?
The one where Monica and Richard are just friends.
Oh, I like that one. What's the synopsis?
In one of the more surprising plot lines, Joey and Rachel exchange favorite books. Phoebe dates a guy that won't keep his mouse in the house. And Monica runs into Richard and tries not to date him again.
Yeah. Are you ready for some maladjusted content?
Yes.
All right. So we watched Emily the Criminal
Yeah.
with Aubrey Plaza in it.
Yes.
It made me very anxious.
Made you anxious.
But it was good.
She's so good in that.
She is good.
She's very good. I love her.
Thanks. And then we watched The Northman, as we said.
Yes.
So
Watched The
Adam had
Northman.
seen it a couple times, and we had gone to Iceland, so he was like, "You gotta watch it." So we did recognize quite a few places.
Yeah, there was one beach that we were on.
Yeah.
And
So that was kind of cool. And then we finished the series Only Murders in the Building.
Yes.
Which I love. Such a good.
The new season.
Yep.
Did you like the new season?
I did. I like those like thrillers that aren't gory and that have you going and thinking in different directions. Like,
Right.
I totally thought it was one group, and then I thought it was another group, and
Right. The twisty turns.
yeah, I love those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that kind of stuff.
I do. Anything else we did this week?
I was just curious if you liked Emily the Criminal or not. I know it made you nervous, but
It does. It makes me anxious when people are like, so she's a criminal, she's
Yeah.
stealing, like she had a stolen credit card,
Yeah.
and it just like I would have vomited. There's no way I could have gone there and like done anything with a stolen credit card.
so personal story. So many years ago, we went to see a hypnotist.
No.
I'm just going to tell a short little portion. So we went to see a hypnotist comedian at a comedy show, and Joe went up on stage, and he got hypnotized.
Yeah.
And was part of the comedy show. And when it was over, she was like, "Why are we leaving?"
I didn't know. I thought it was like 5 minutes after we.
That was part of the hypnosis
Yeah.
thing that you wouldn't remember. And then it was over. You were like, "We just got here. When?"
Why am I all sweaty?
I'm so tired. But one of the things he had her do, but it was her and 2 other guys are on the stage.
Uh-huh.
And one of the scenarios you had to act. You're all in chairs.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, okay, you're driving along in a car and you're speeding and you're going really fast and the wind's in your hair and y'all are looking cool driving your pretend cars. And he was like, and now the cops are behind you. The guys just look cool. They pretend like they're slowing down.
Right.
You look super nervous. And you just remembered, this is what the guy is saying.
Right.
You just remembered you have a big bunch of drugs underneath the seat of the car. And again, the guy's cool. Joe is on the stage, starts crying. Because she's hypnotized into thinking she was speeding and has a bunch of drugs in the car.
And he kept saying, the cop doesn't know. The cop doesn't know. Act cool.
And
And he walks up to the window.
It's like the worst moment of her life.
Yeah,
It was so
I
funny.
can't do it.
know.
I would give myself away. Yeah, there's no way.
No
It was-
poker face at all.
No.
Good stuff.
That was funny.
But that's, when you were talking about Emily
me
the Criminal
anxious,
making
yeah.
me anxious, you don't have the constitution for crime.
All right. Thanks for listening, Misfits. We're so glad you stumbled across our podcast. And if you are enjoying it, please share it with other Friends fans.
Or rate it and or leave a review.
And if you want to contribute to the podcast, pick your favorite episode and send us your thoughts or reactions. We'd love to share them on the episode. You can also write just to say hey.
Come on, we'd like to hear from more of you misfits out there.
Make sure you email us at themaladjustedmisfits@gmail.com. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. You can follow the links in the show notes. The pages are called The One Where We Talk About Friends.
Joe, you ready for a cup of coffee?
Always. You know, I just don't see why she has to play with you. That's all. I mean, doesn't she, have any other stripper mom friends of her own?